Toss a coin to your
podcast commentators.
oh valley of plenty. Oh valley. I'm sorry.
Jeez. Let's just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's early Sunday morning here, right after Christmas, and we're recording our special episode on Netflix's The Witcher.
Yeah, I think I put on like 30 pounds watching this TV show. But not because of the TV show, because it was Christmas.
There's a lot of binging going on, you know?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Food and festivities and Witcher. How was your guys' holidays? It was good?
It was good, yeah.
Nice.
I got a Mandalorian Pez dispenser. For my
Oh,
family.
nice. Your favorite show of all time.
Yeah, they don't realize how little I care about.
No, I think they
about
do
those
realize,
in
and
general.
they just did that to fuck with you.
Yeah, do you think my family's just trolling with me like I do with you guys?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I know
Definitely.
your family, especially your sister.
Yeah.
Your sister knows you. You don't like Star Wars because I think last time we mentioned Mandalorian, and it's like, oh, Miles doesn't like that.
Yeah, last year she got me a Kylo Ren, one of those like dolls, the little pop something
little
or whatever.
pop figurine things?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forget what they're called, but yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, it's funny. I actually got a Pez dispenser too. That's like my first time getting one. Funny enough, it was just like I think like a generic snowman.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I got a Pez dispenser. My first Pez dispenser was somebody from the Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Remember how they were just whoring that film out and doing a fuck ton
Yep.
of like,
Yeah.
promotion? Yeah, and I even remember I got the general. I was like, I went to was it Burger King or McDonald's where I got the toys, and I bought so many those kid meals just to get the fucking General Grievous.
Those are the days, man. That back when McDonald's used to actually try with their toys. Now they're just like
They're
I don't know. They
lame.
just feel like they just shit them out.
the,
So
the last McDonald's kids meal toy I got was the Snoopy lore from the Snoopy.
What?
I know. Yeah, it was actually like pretty decent, but it's whatever. So today we are covering The Witcher season 2, and we'll briefly talk about season 1. It's based on a series of novels called The Witcher by Andrzej Sapkowski. And the show is the showrunner for The Witcher is Lauren Schmidt Hiserch. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Lauren. If you're the biggest fan of Half a Clue, I probably doubt it.
I'm sure she is, dude.
Yeah, I know.
How could she not be?
Exactly. She's she's known for working on The West Wing, Parenthood, and one of our favorite shows of all time that Miles has seen multiple times, Daredevil. And she also worked on The Umbrella Academy, so she's had a wide breadth of writing credits, and all these nerd cred and building up to The Witcher, who she's a big fan of.
Honestly, those are like the 3 best nerdy Netflix series, really.
Yeah, especially the Daredevil and
Umbrella Academy.
Yeah,
Both I think are probably the best. Maybe or some of the best. I'll say like
no, Iron Fist
Netflix.
is like a revelation.
Oh,
isn't
shut the fuck.
it? Yeah, it's just like the best show of all time.
How
Hey,
dare you.
look, it was my favorite Netflix
it
show
is
that
the-
I
it is
watched
the
that was like a
best-
Marvel show.
This is the best white savior Marvel show I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like this white guy who's never trained a single day in his life was able to beat the fuck out of all
Hey.
these Asians who trained their entire lives.
Hey, did you
in
know
this
Danny
martial
Rand?
arts.
Did you know Danny Rand is the immortal Iron Fist?
I didn't know that. Wow, they mention that in the
Yeah,
show?
no, he did. Like he's very subtle about it. He's very humble.
I thought there were 2 Iron Fists.
I'll tell you this. That's one thing I think they're gonna probably ignore in the show. They're not gonna bring back Danny Rand.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, I think, because I know they're rebooting Iron Fist in the comics, which I heard rumors is going to be the basis for the next Iron Fist, which is rumored to be in Shang-Chi too.
Oh, they're just gonna be like, what happened to the last guy? He died. It doesn't matter. Let's move on. Anyway,
he lost his powers in the season 2, but then
he does.
and all he could do is shoot Iron Fist bullets. I'm serious.
Oh my god.
I'm serious. You didn't see it, right?
No, I did
It's
not.
it's a travesty.
Okay.
Okay, so we pick up from season 1 after the great events of Sodden Hill, where Yennefer used the power of the fire magic to destroy the army of Nilfgaard. And Geralt and Ciri see each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
And this season 2, I do want to say, was a lot easier to follow.
Oh, yeah, of
because-
course.
So much easier to digest.
Yeah.
All right, so now, before we get into season 2, what are your thoughts on season 1? What was your familiarity with the Witcher franchise, whether it's the books, the movies, Is this your first exposure to the Witcher franchise?
So this was my first viewing of season 1.
Yeah.
And because of that, I kind of wish that I had had time to rewatch season 1 again, because I feel like once I got to like episode 6 or episode 7, I kind of understood the timeline order better,
Yeah.
and I understood kind of what was going on. And I feel like through a rewatch, I would have understood it better. But to me, that's kind of a problem with it,
Yeah.
you know,
Agreed.
where it was very, when you're jumping around in timelines, unless you're intentionally like they did in Westworld, where you're intentionally trying to
Disorient.
disorient the viewer, it kind of complicates things if you aren't very obvious about it, and your viewers should know, unless you're intentionally trying to hide for them, when things are happening in timelines.
Yeah, this was my first exposure to The Witcher as well. I've heard of the games. I didn't know that they were based on books, so that's kind of just how ignorant I was of it. I found out later, which is cool. But like it's cool. Like I've heard a lot. I know they're very beloved and like cherished games and novels. And yeah, the first season was rough. There's a lot of stuff I liked in it, mainly Henry Cavill and
Honestly,
Anya Charlotte.
Yeah,
Charlotte.
Yeah, Anya Charlotte. Chalotra.
Chalotra.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. If you're the
as
biggest fan of
Yennefer.
our show, I'm so sorry. For audio only listeners, it's all of you guys.
Yeah. It's like I think they were carrying the show, but particularly Henry Cavill, who, as I understand, is like a
Yes.
huge fan of the series, both games and books. And it shows because, like, again, having no knowledge of it prior, you can see how much he really seems to give a shit about this, and he's really trying, and he carries the show, honestly. So the first season, he was the thing that was pulling me through, because whenever they cut away to Ciri, I was like, I do not give a shit. I was like, I don't.
Season one. A lot of that is
season one. Yeah.
Ironically, all the series stuff was like added in.
Hmm,
That was new stuff.
I see.
Yeah.
Were they just trying to like develop Ciri a little bit?
Yeah, in a bad way, and in a weird way.
I think
I'll
that's
say this.
actually the problem with season. If they hadn't put that in, I think it would have been more straightforward, and there wouldn't have been as much jumping back and forth with where timelines were and stuff.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been as confusing.
I think they'll still be jumping back and forth because they're adapting the short stories, and the short stories all take place in that. I don't think
Just
in a good way.
over
like,
the course of
Yeah.
decades and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Which, like, I can see why they were trying to do that, and
Yeah.
it's no easy task to try and figure out how to make that work, somewhat seamlessly. But like, this was the exact opposite of that. The seams were, coming apart.
yeah, and also
I'll
it's
say.
also because like The Witcher and witches, they don't age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like you can't even
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't tell. And also the background, like part of the beauty, also the horror of the Witcher universe, both in the video games and the books, is that time moves fast and slowly at the same time. Fast for the people, but it's tragically slow in the sense that there's not much innovation, and the environments stay the same. It's like the cyclical level of violence.
Yeah.
One thing that did kind of irk me about season 1 though
Yeah.
is they reused a couple sets.
Yes.
And they reused them in the wrong places. One of the most noticeable ones was the throne room where
God.
Henry Cavill was talking about the Striga with the One King.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's true, yes,
And then later he has a conversation with Queen Calanthe in that same room. But that was one was set in. They were both set in totally different castles. So it confused me because the timelines were shifting back and forth. I was like, wait, is this like her great grandfather? Because they're in the same place. Like, what's going on here? Where are the people? And that really, when it comes to timelines, you got to be very consistent with your sets, because that's one of the things that kind of cues your viewers into, where they are.
No, I get that too. It's like I think sci-fi or fantasy is a lot like sci-fi, where it can really live or die on like the art direction and like set design and stuff. That can what's what sells the world, right?
yes.
And I feel like the first season was okay, pretty underwhelming in a lot of the stuff. I mean, some of the like the wide shots and the clear like pure CG fabrications were cool. I was like, that was like interesting, but yeah, a lot of times the interiors, I was a little whelmed at most.
Yeah.
I was like,
I
eh.
completely agree. I mean, it's normal for a lot of fantasy shows to reuse sets and redesign sets, but I completely agree in the sense that they didn't do enough to differentiate the castle to castle. Like Redania is supposed to look a lot different from Sintra, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's supposed to be like widely different. Sintra's a place of opulence. Redania is like it's like mid tier, Sintra. But they don't do stuff like that really well. I'm not saying, but that king's not from Redania. But just to give an
Yeah.
example,
Yeah, I'll say like most of the places just kind of blended together, unless they cut to a wide and it's like okay, but I don't know. Like I feel like you shouldn't even have to do that necessarily. Like there should be enough like a difference in just like everything else to make it very clear that this is like a completely different place or even time. But yeah, that's was part of the issue I think with season 1. But ironically, I think they actually did a much better job in season 2. But we'll get to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's in a weird way. I think like season 1 was like the test run.
No,
Yeah.
it feels like that. I mean, it's been 2 years since season 1 release between season 1 and season 2.
Yeah,
Wow, has it been 2 years?
yeah.
Really?
Originally, it wasn't supposed to be that case, but COVID happened.
Oh
So
yeah.
they
Oh,
delayed it. A
yeah.
bit.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Because I feel like I just watched that like last year. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, season 1, I completely agree. I mean, in a weird way, I'm kind of glad they still did it like this because, like, for me, I guess for like for someone like I didn't personally read the books, but I just read the summaries for the games to get myself caught up, and I really like the games. The first game is kind of rough. You point and click, and Geralt has like a weird elbow swing.
Mm-hmm.
And like he looks like he's like humping the air as he's like he's more like he looks like he's more like fucking the enemies than actually killing them. But see, I know you played the second game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which is like more like The Witcher. I know where you have to drink potions. It feels like the actual
Mm-hmm.
games. Like you remember like you had to like drink potions, prepare for each battle. If not, you're gonna get super fucked.
Yeah.
And the third one is like a mix of Skyrim and Witcher, where it's like a lot more open world, but still way more story based. And that's like probably the best entry point for any newcomers.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of games nowadays, selling something as an open world game is really like a big selling point.
Yeah.
And like selling, oh yeah, you've got 300 square miles of open world. That's like one of the bigger selling points, especially for RPGs.
Yes.
So they focus more on building the mechanics around having a large world size and having randomly generated enemies and random encounters and stuff like that, because it sells games better.
Yes. I agree.
And for some games, it's really awesome. Personally, I enjoy big open world games, but it can be a detriment to others, especially something where it's based off a book and it's very heavily story driven.
Yeah.
I think it works better to be a little bit less open world.
Yeah, I agree with that. What's it called? I'm kind of curious. Let me know when you finish Witcher not season 3, Witcher 3
Yeah.
on the wall. Are you getting Switch or Xbox Series X?
I'll probably get it for the Xbox
Yeah.
because I mean I've got a Series X, so might as well get
Yeah,
like the
4K
yeah.
120. You get the free upgrade to they're making next gen version too.
Gotcha.
So okay. So yeah, for me ultimately, I was ultimately happy with the portrayal of the characters, particularly the casting was great. The one Henry Cavill for Geralt or Geralt and Anya for Yennefer, and I think her name is Freya. Is it her name is Freya Allen?
Yeah,
right?
Freya Allen for
Yeah,
Siri.
for Siri. Those three were really good. Even though I didn't like Siri's storyline, I think the casting was pretty spot on for a super young Siri.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
like again. I had nothing against her as like an actress.
It's just
or-
her
yeah, just
storyline.
her story was just boring. I was like, I don't care, man. Just
Yeah.
move on. Like, I get it. She's a princess. She's doesn't not used to the outside world.
And when they gave her a better story in season 2, you could really
see her shine.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think for me the big, maybe I'm just like biased from the video games and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Trish was my love interest until Yennefer came in the storyline, and I tossed her aside. But Triss was one of my favorite characters from the series. She's this badass warrior witch, redhead, fiery like her personality, right? Expressed, and then it was what's called her exterior expressed her interior, character traits. Triss in season 1 was super underwhelming. I think it was like, I still think it's not the best casting. Like you don't get any of what we know from Trish from the. I know in the books like
Well, I think that they were really trying not to focus on her.
no,
very
except
much.
season 2, yeah.
But
But
even
then-
in season 2, it's
Yeah,
very light.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have
Again,
to be a focus, but I'm just like saying, like,
Yeah.
the choice to not have her as a redhead, and even
Mhm.
if like I know in the books it's slightly different from the games, but just because that has been such embedded into gamers' minds, And
no,
oh,
I'm sorry.
okay, my
You go. No.
And in season 2, they at least fixed the redhead part, and she's a little bit more capable as like kind of a mentor to Siri, and a little bit more powerful. Like in season 1, she seemed like a bitch. Not like a bitch as in person, but like her power levels and shit. Like she's actually supposed to be kind of powerful.
Yeah.
But in season 2, like she helps with Siri and like get into the thing when we get into season 2's plot line. So it's improved. I'm still trepidatious about that character.
I'll say that like I hadn't rewatched season 1, so when they reintroduced her in season 2, I was like, wait, who is this?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's someone like, again, I haven't played the games or the books or anything, so I had no idea like that she's like this big important character. So like knowing that she is supposed to be, that's kind of disappointing. Yeah, I was like, okay. And that was pretty much it. I was like, okay, she's fine.
I
That's
think
fine, whatever.
that they were also trying to make Yennefer seem a little bit more powerful, because if you look at the magic that they do show throughout the show, it's really not all that powerful, because they've only got a few times when they show Yennefer being really powerful and other mages being very powerful. And I think they wanted to make it more impactful when Yennefer did magic or when Ciri did magic. And I think that one of the ways that they tried to do that was just through not making all the other mages seem as powerful.
Right. Which I think is, I'm still dubious about that choice. And in season 2, I think is a better balance. Like you see Stregobor, like putting people in mental prisons.
Yeah.
But also highlighting how, how powerful they are. There are ways to show other people's power sets and make one person powerful, but just like in powers and scales. But I mean, like I said, Lauren admits herself that there's a lot of faults in season 1 that she was trying. I think this is like her first show where it's like completely on her.
Oh.
Yeah, and then also, and that's why she also, there's a lot of stuff in the short stories that she wanted to test out before, because technically season 2 is actually book 1, and it's like the true first season of the show.
Yeah. First one it's more prequel-ish, which again, honestly, it's kind of what it felt like, and that's why I was more willing to go to season 2, because the first one I was like, all right, like I'm at least more invested in the characters in the world, but like I want to see where this goes.
Yeah,
and I was like, we'll give it a shot, and so that's why I was more willing to come back. Around
episode 3 or 4 of the show, I texted Philip and I was like, when does this show start getting good?
I fully admit that. I was like, I'm very apologetic for the first season, because I'm a big fan of the franchise. And then recently I've like, instead of just reading the summaries, I've like actually went through some of the short story books, but particularly the one when we get into season 2, the one short story that's based on The Last Wish, The Blood of Elves, which is season 2 is based on, which is technically the first book of the series, and my fandom has only fucking inflamed and increased. Okay, so instead of so now let's get into season 2. After the trials and tribulations of season 1's interesting use of storyline jumping, which they also failed to Hasker, who didn't even grow a beard in that time period.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed a little bit, because apparently he was like kind of a fixed point in season 1.
Yeah,
of like, oh yeah, this is how you can kind of tell that this is all happening around the same time, is that he's not aging for those portions. But then when they bring him into season 2, it's like, oh, he's got long hair now.
Yeah,
he doesn't look any older, but he's got long hair.
And long hair and a beard.
Even though he's like at least like 16 years older.
Yeah,
and if he was 25 at the time, he should look like 40 to 45.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I agree.
Dandelion, right?
Yeah.
Did they refer to him as Dandelion in the show?
I don't think so. No, they haven't. Actually.
Yeah, because like I watched stuff afterwards, like where people were talking to him, and they referred to him as Dandelion a lot, and I was like, who the fuck's Dandelion? I was like, oh, this guy. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, I don't know. I get that they reference him as that in other stuff.
He's got
the reason why they gave him they gave him the beard and the long hair is because it's a big criticism in season 1. Like Lauren fully admits that, we didn't like visually show any aging for this character.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you see, like he looks like a baby in season 1, but at least in season 2, like they tried. They gave him a beard and they gave him long hair, and he got super ripped.
Yeah, I will say the character for Ciri, the actress, she noticeably aged too. But I think she started. I don't know how old she is, honestly. But
she's like only 20 now.
Okay, because she looks like much older in season 2. So I was like, I almost thought for a second that they had a different actress for some reason.
Oh yeah,
I was like, is she different? I was like, no, it's the same lady. But yeah.
So it's Yeah. Okay. So I guess like that's overall. Yeah. So overall, like after the trials and tribulations of season 1's confusing timeline mixes, what are your thoughts and opinions of season 2 now finishing it in comparison to season 1 or just in general?
Well, I would say the season 2 actually changed my opinion of season 1 slightly.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit more respect for season 1 now. Watching season 2 helped me to understand some of the creative choices that they made.
Yeah.
And the reason why they were telling some stories that seemed kind of innocuous and boring at the time, but they did kind of lead into season 2 very well.
Yeah.
And I felt like I got a good grounding for what was coming in season 2 with the stories that were presented in season 1. And like you said, season 2 is based off the first book in the series.
Yeah, Blood of the Elves.
Yes. So having that background information was very beneficial because you didn't have to struggle with understanding who characters were right away, and you got decent background, and they were able to more effectively do A and B stories and switch back and forth without confusing the audience too much.
Yeah, because like they consolidated the Geralt and Ciri storyline into one, which is a great idea. Yeah.
And by the end of season 2, they also consolidated the Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer stories into one.
Exactly. Oh, when we get into fan bitching and we're gonna get into that, that's gonna come up because oh my god, there's been some fan bitching on this show.
Yeah,
really.
I've seen a little bit of backlash. And again, coming at it from an outsider's perspective, I like season 2 much more than season 1. Like I feel like it was an improvement pretty much on like every level. Yeah. In terms of just like the flow of the show, the characters, all their little storylines, their arcs and stuff. I was like way more invested and interested. And yeah, and the budget, the sets, like the costuming was a big one for me. Like specifically the who are they called? The Nilfgaard. Nilfgaard.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did not like their armor. I'm sorry, Miles. I know you're a fan of it, but I did not like their armor in season 1. I was like, it looked so like just cheap and flimsy, and then in season 2, it looks like actual armor. I mean, still exaggerated like fantasy armor, but still, I was like, better.
Yeah, but that was a big complaint of us, fan bitching. That was a big complaint of season 1 that people were saying, like, because Nilfgaard actually in the games too, the armor in and also in the books too, but the armor they had in season 2 is a lot closer than how people know Nilfgaard as.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why like they were like bitching like, what is this, like, paper trash?
Because it looks like 3D printed armor, but like not even in a cool way. I was just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I really liked the lines on it. I thought that it was interesting and it added some good looking texture to the armor. But
it's unique.
Yeah,
I'll say that much.
Unique.
Yeah, but I'll say like it served its purpose as like actual armor. Like swords will catch on that and everything, and it's like armor's meant to deflect.
Yeah,
Well, but whatever. I don't know.
So the season 1, her justification was that when they did it initially. And also, she admitted it was budget.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Yeah. So I was like, I guess they just couldn't afford better costuming.
Well, I think that they were also trying to go with black armor because they were talking about the Black Knight and stuff like that.
And I'm okay with that.
And they wanted to differentiate it from Witcher armor, especially.
Yeah, which is fine too. I mean, I do have some gripes with the Witcher's armor as well,
which improved
Geralt. Yeah, it improved, but even then, I was like, I don't know. I'm never usually a fan of that like leather studded armor look. Like, it looks kind of cool, but
yeah. Oh, we'll get into armor sets in a bit.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Overall, season 2, I think was just a greater improvement.
Yeah.
Above all things,
Yeah.
Definitely have some gripes with some stuff, but overall, much better. Yeah.
What about you? Oh, did you already say it?
Yeah. I mentioned it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess one last thing about the Nilfgaardian armor, and the other reason besides budget is the reason why she said that, like, because they're bootstrapping a lot of people just to take over Sodden Hill and mages and the north, right, the northern kingdoms. So her justification is like, oh, they're probably just bootstrapping these armors together for these peasants and just mass producing them as cheap as possible. But she also realized that it's just visually not appealing.
No.
And also when you compare to the game, especially when we get into the reveal of season 2, like the Emperor, and he amassed like a fuck ton of resources, that the armor, she's like, the armor probably should have been a lot better. But like I said, it's season 1 stuff. Know what, I really appreciate this showrunner that she listens to fan feedback.
Yeah,
she understands it, and she improved. Like, it's a huge improvement for season 1.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like I'm still excited for season 3 because
Yeah.
like I'm sure it seems like a show that's growing with each consecutive season, and it's actually expanding. And like
Yeah.
you said, she's learning and listening to the fans, and
Unlike-
that's so great and rare
You mean
from like a
D-
showrunner.
Unlike
And I
D&D
feel like-
for Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah, they're like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, we don't give a shit.
Yeah,
It's
we're
like-
making Star Wars, and then they didn't make Star Wars. yeah.
Actually, while we were waiting for Philip, Ron and I had like a fucking hour-long conversation about Game of Thrones earlier. So
yeah, we're just like comparing it to the show and the books, and all the shit they fucked up is just opening up old wounds.
I know.
Yeah.
And this one is like, and also with Wheel of Time, which one day we're gonna cover. I you know what? I spent too much time on real time focusing. We'll have a bonus video eventually for me and Miles this time, and then season 2 comes. We'll drag Ron.
Yeah, I would like to talk about Wheel of Time. Again, that's another thing I have no knowledge of whatsoever, other than that's like, a big deal.
Yeah, it's like, and then I totally forgot that Brandon. Not to get delve into, I forgot that Brandon Sanderson wrote the last 3 books.
yeah.
Yeah, which was cool. I was like, oh shit.
I
even better.
mentioned it 7 times
Yeah,
on this
I know.
podcast.
I just like I just forgot about it. I know.
It's like we're reviewing like West Side Story, and he's like, guys, Brandon
Brandon
Sanderson.
I
Wheel
never
of Time.
mentioned-
We're like, Miles, we get it.
Okay, the 2 things that I mention most often on this podcast are
Brandon Sanderson.
and
That's it called. And your dick.
no
You hate
Stargate.
Marvel?
Stargate,
Oh, okay.
I-
Oh,
Yes.
Stargate, yes.
Which we will cover eventually. I'm actually gonna watch it, but I don't know how much I'll watch. But
You
I'll
need to watch all 17 seasons.
Honestly,
Okay.
maybe. All right,
Back
so
to
back to
Witcher.
this.
Sorry.
All right. You know what?
Fine.
Since we're already talking about armor, let's just get it out of the way. So in season
Yeah.
2, the armor has improved quite a bit. This will be a small segment for our viewers who don't give a fuck about armor.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, check out our Instagram, by the way,
Alright,
because I put up a poll to see what actually people cared more about, or which ones they thought just looked better from season 1 or season 2, specifically Geralt's armor.
yeah.
And it's kind of like down the middle. It's almost 50-50. Like
Really?
right now it's a 40-60%. 60% going for season 2. They preferred the armor. And I agree. I think it does look better. It's an improvement. It looks like more realistic in a
Yeah.
sense, it's definitely still that fantasy studded armor shit, which I'm not a big fan of, but like it looks better, I'll say.
Can you pull up on Geralt Witcher 3 Wild Hunt armor real quick? So that's probably the most accurate armor,
Yeah.
and I just want Ron to see that for as a reference.
Yeah. No, I think I believe I've seen that too. Hopefully we'll have an image up for the YouTube channel. So if you're listening, you can probably check out the loop that will be showing of different images to compare
just
the
type in like
armors and
Geralt,
stuff.
and then just type in it's the Wild Hunt armor, and then
Wild Hunt. Oh, which by the way, with the whole Wild Hunt thing at the end of this season, I was like, confused. I'll say. Again, I was like, they're like, it's a part of the Wild Hunt. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
yeah. So I mean, like in season, like that's how those are some of the things. Which I actually prefer this one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. Again, it's like realistic, but still looks like there's fantasy elements to it. There's there's the thing with like leather gauntlets, which for some reason has like really prevailed like medieval and fantasy like media, even though there's like no such thing in real life.
No, it's not.
but still pretty cool. The fact that he's basically wearing like gambeson, which is like this like layered linen underneath his plated armor, or like again kind of leathery armor. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's like right here. I mean, we'll pull this up on the YouTube, hopefully in there.
Yeah. We'll try to get that in
Yeah.
one of these images in the loops.
But
But
like
pretty
with
cool.
The final upgrade, it's like probably like somewhat close to the books. It's like that's his armor has it's like it's like there's a lot of dynamic like it allows him to move quite a bit. There's enough freeform, but at the same time, like I think he's wearing a specific type of leather and cloth, and
Yeah.
also like he has like the fur coat of his the slain enemies.
Fur coat is cool. That's like
Yeah.
that's nothing wrong with that. He can wear that because you
Yeah.
get cold, man.
What did
Yeah.
you guys think of Ciri's armor?
I mean, it was a dress.
Yeah. No,
I
but
think-
she's got like that big fur like coat that
Yeah.
looks like it was like it looks like a modern fucking outfit, not like
Yeah.
a medieval fantasy outfit.
I know.
just saying.
I agree with that.
yeah.
Luckily, with her, like she wasn't fighting as much or stuff like that. So and also like
Yeah.
she's just doing. I'm hoping when I mean, well, what's it called? Well, if you've seen Ciri from Witcher 3,
Yeah.
all right, what's it called? You've seen like the outfit that she has, right?
Mhm.
Which I think I'm think they're working towards that eventually.
Gotcha. I'll pull
And,
that up.
What's it called? So I guess yeah, by the way, Ciri is like way different in the games in terms of like the look and stuff. This is young Ciri, so which makes
Okay.
sense. Yeah, Ciri and with the Siri in the video games makes Geralt look like a bitch. And when you play a
Yeah.
Siri in the game, it's just like the power difference.
Well, she seems like super powerful. Like and yeah, like they said, like when they started like training her for the Witchers, which was one of my favorite parts of this of season 2. I was like, okay, again, like I did not really give a shit about her character at all in the first season. I was just like, let's get on with it, people. But I think they did a great job of like just really kind of getting a running start of like having her little side quest with that Beauty and the Beast kind of storyline
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, her armor here looks
Like a
I wouldn't
fantasy.
even call it armor, to be honest. She's just basically wearing clothes, which is nice for
And it's more
fantasy, which tends to be pretty sexist.
It's kind of similar to her training garb that she was wearing when she was doing the obstacle course.
exactly,
and
and I
stuff.
think there's a reference to that, and also like and then for her because she's so powerful, doesn't get hit. She just needs like stuff for like pouches for her potions and whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Details.
I loved when she just yelled "fuck" like 3 times and teleported,
I know.
and I was like, "Yeah, she's Gerald's daughter for sure."
Fuck. What's it called? Yeah. So overall, I do think it's improved. I think there's even more room for improvement. And they just say that because I was watching the making of. Have you guys seen the making of Witcher season 2 by any chance?
I have not. I did watch some behind the scenes interviews, like mainly that Henry Cavill like fucking like tore his hamstring or something.
Yeah. And he almost like
Brutal.
and he just kept going, and he had to just like rest, and it was cool. Honestly, beast of a guy.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
had like a full-time like physical therapist there just to make sure that he wouldn't like do any long-term damage to him, which again shows that this guy really gives a shit, which is like
and when
that's great.
And when we get into like deaths and character deaths and stuff like that, there's something that he did that's impacted that death even better. Yeah, I think for the top of the season 2, the armor and stuff.
Mhm.
One of the things was that like I guess in season 1, like it just took so many hours to put on, and
Yeah.
it just was impractical. So that in this one there's like more pieces and stuff like that, and they went to like an armor expert like what they would probably wear, what somebody of this like caliber and size could do, and what would actually protect them, and that's how they came about it for
See-
practicality and other reasons.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that bugs me too. It's because like real medieval armor, full plate armor, is meant to be more like a second skin than like you're not supposed to be like a tank. You're supposed to have full flexibility. You can
Yes.
like roll around, climb. You can do all kinds of shit and fight freely in full plate armor. It's not like often depicted where it's like this super heavy tanky shit. Like no, it's supposed to be meant like you're supposed to be slick as hell. So yeah, it's funny enough. Like again, the closer you are to realism, the more practical it is. So I don't know. It's like it's obviously, but yeah. So I'm glad that they at least they leaned more into the realism because it shouldn't be like a struggle to do stunts in real armor. You know. So that's that's cool.
What about you, Miles? Any last thing about the armor before we want to move on?
No, I think that the armor, I enjoyed the armor. I thought it all looked fairly well designed.
Yeah.
I'm not an armor expert by any means. I think it was consistent with the world building that they had done. It really felt like it was meant to be in the world that they were in, especially when you're looking at all the other characters that they come across, which I don't know. I liked it.
Oh
Yeah.
So now let's get into, I guess, characters, both the main and supporting. So for the main of the 3, right, what did you guys think about the storylines that was presented for Geralt and Ciri in 1, and also Yennefer, like her arc, which is like, her losing her chaos magic because of season 1 and trying to regain it back. And this is also where some of the fan bitching has come.
I think that Yennefer was less emotionally powerful for me this season versus season 1, unfortunately, just because she had a very emotional storyline in season 1. And
Oh, I remember your text message.
yeah,
I'm not gonna say it out loud because we'll get canceled.
Yeah.
but but I did say that she evolves, right? Yeah.
there's too much sex in movies, but I'll just say that.
Funny enough, there was like no real sex or nudity in this
season 2.
Yeah, the only one is in episode 2 when Eskel brings the prostitutes to Kaer
Oh,
Morhen.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it.
Forgot
And
about
that's
that.
it.
But that wasn't even like that bad. Were they like trying to down the rating a little bit?
No,
So it
not
was
even
like,
just that. I guess she just said that like in this season, there's nothing even from season 1, season 2. She just said that there's just no reason to have sex scenes, right? She's okay
Yeah.
with having sex and nudity, but if it makes sense.
Well, that's
Gotcha.
that should be the goal, right? It's
Yeah.
like you don't want it to just be excessive for no reason. It just
Not like
just
D&D for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they're like,
position.
yeah. Oh, look,
Littlefinger.
yeah, exactly. And also, hey, look, there's a giant. It's just starting off cutting to a penis for literally no reason other than
There's
it's
a
like a
wo-
fuck you.
There's a wood on my penis.
Yeah, what does that look like a penis? It's like, why the fuck are we staring at this dude's dick? Whatever. No, Yennefer's like storyline. I did prefer her in season 1.
Well, I
Again,
agree.
I think she just had way more growth and stuff to do. You see her like becoming from like a hunchback person to like becoming like this super powerful. What are they called? Shit.
The mage.
Sorcerer,
mage, yes.
or mage, yeah.
Or witch. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that was cool, and like her finale where she like does the fire magic and stuff, that was really cool. And in this season, it kind of felt like they didn't really know what to do with her, other than so they gave her that like she lost her magic.
Yeah, because so
Plot.
I'll say in the book, and we won't have a dedication book versus TV differences. It'll just take forever. We'll just talk about it as it goes on. But for in the book, she just lost her sight, left for like 50, 60 pages, and just came back. I have my sight again. Yeah, so like in actually Blood of Elves, like she's introduced, like she's not really given that much. Yeah, so in this one, they decided to give her quite a bit to do. And and you're just like in the book you're just speculating like what happened to her, how she get her sight back, like why did she lose it because of the Sodden Hill battle or whatever. So in this one they took what they got in the book and they filled in the blanks, like her losing her magic, how she got her magic back, and
Yeah,
they try to tie it more to the series storyline of like which our ultimate villain, Voldemort. And have her come back, which in a weird way I kind of like, is like in the sense that you do bring this character who was actually such a high point and bringing them at the lowest point of their like lives,
yeah,
and taking what they think that makes them special, only realize that it's not.
yeah.
I was okay with the storyline because at least it's better than in a weird way it's better than what she got in the book, because she's just like, I lost my sight, gone for 50 pages, I'm back with my sight. Yeah. So I mean, would you guys prefer that, or you guys prefer what you got here?
I don't know. I just kind of wanted her to have to like a little bit more to do, because I feel like she loses. Well, actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it more, I think it makes more sense, because I was gonna say that I think she loses some of her agency from like the first season, where it's all about her just like really trying to take control of her life, and in this season 2, she's lost all her power and she's like a prisoner, so she's literally lost all of her agency. Like she just kind of has to do stuff, and then when she tries to, she's very desperate, like kidnapping Ciri and then trying to like give her up to Volethmir and stuff. I don't know. I wasn't entirely satisfied with how she got her magic back, though. She just like comes back to like
She's just
the
like,
dimension. She's like, oh, it's back. I was like, oh, okay. Like again, I was expecting a little bit more, like something to a moral consequence, because like. Yeah, I don't know.
It really felt like it wasn't earned when she got her magic back. And
Yeah.
know,
I think
I'll say this for that one.
yeah.
Possibly I was okay with it, mainly because I just don't like seeing her without magic. And number 2 is and from the way I guess like the series presented it, because in the books they just like she just came back literally. It's like, I'm back, bitches. But in this one, like at least because having Volethmir inside her body. Voldemort inside her body, and then going to the Wild Hunt, who and when we get into like lore and stuff like
Again,
that, I'll
what
explain.
the fuck is that?
I'll explain. I'll explain the
It's like, what are they, the 4 horsemen like riding at her from the apocalypse? I'm like, what's going on here?
I'll explain more about that, because they're actually pretty cool, and they're the main villains for the 3rd video game, but also through the books too.
Oh, okay.
They're like the big bad. They're like the White Walkers, but actually with death.
yeah, they look like the fucking 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Oh yeah, they're dark elven warriors, pretty much.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they're stuck in between time and place in an endless loop of torture and trauma, and they become
yeah.
But
Speaking of
say.
which,
So emo.
I love that one scene where Triss was just traumatized by Ciri's like memories or whatever. Yeah.
What does Siri? You're gonna bring the end of days. Oh.
Yes.
It was just like, this is not the Trish I know. This is not the Trish I know. It's
It
like
was funny though.
it's like when I told him at that moment, I understand the people did hashtag not my Star Wars. This is how I felt, hashtag not my Trish. What's it called? I agree though. We're gonna talk about that supporting characters in a bit, but back to the Yennefer thing, and I understand that because the Volethmir went inside her body, and she is such a powerful being. She's from the Wild Hunt world, right? So she has mystical properties that no one knows of.
That's like where
Yeah.
all the, well, I mean, they say like all the monsters and all of like most of the magical stuff comes from that world. No,
Oh, not necessarily all the magical
No?
stuff, but like all the shit that comes from the portal.
Okay.
Yeah, from that place.
Look, I will say one thing really quick. One thing that I really appreciate about the show Game of Thrones versus like this show is that like just the intro sequence where they go over like the map and you can clearly see where all the different kingdoms and all the players are coming from and everything. It makes it so much easier to like really process like pretty much where everything is happening. And I feel like with this show, I was like, can someone cut to a map? Like
Yeah,
I want to
exactly. I
I
agree.
want to see where everything is because I have no idea. They say the North Kingdoms and they say from the South. And I was like, okay, but like how big are they? What
yeah,
are
how
the
the
differences?
difference?
What's going on here? Like I just want to know.
as much as I really like the intro, which is like super nice and quick and snappy.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
But like an intro with the map might have been okay. If you didn't want to cut to a map, or maybe at the end credits.
Yeah,
have like the
something.
names over like a map.
Can you just
Yeah.
have a character moment where they're just like looking at a fucking map and just be like, we're here, they're here. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in the recap of every episode, you just recap that scene where they're staring at a map for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's like it's for the Amber stuff. I bought that she bought her power back, and it was like a character moment, like her sacrifice. So she was rewarded for that sacrifice.
Yeah.
And also Volithmir is like the story reason, like she basically rejuvenated chaos magic.
Yeah, I
in her.
get that. Yeah.
But it wasn't as satisfying it could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. But ultimately, I guess it's like the mini sacrifice for season 3, and then but then I felt this season was definitely more like Geralt and Ciri had a lot more to do this season than last season.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I really liked the monster hunting that they
Yes,
did
yeah.
in this season, especially with Geralt and Ciri, where she was kind of playing the bait a lot.
I wanted
And-
more.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and just watching like Geralt like just fucking jump out of nowhere and just slaughter the beast, I was like,
Yeah.
oh fuck.
Yeah,
that's-
that
Yeah.
was cool. I really liked when they showed the what was the tree thing called? I forget. It was like
The Lishen.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was cool. I mean, I guess we can talk about the Eskel thing like in a second, but like I liked how that kind of resolved itself when they just show like the weird tree thing, and it's like, oh fuck, never mind. There's like this even crazier looking like
Yes.
centipede monster thing, and
Yes.
that was it was pretty cool. It was terrifying, and like she's running away from it, and then eventually Geralt coming up and killing it. And then eventually when the horse died, what was his name?
Oh, Roach.
Roach.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Oh,
You know what I
dude.
mentioned earlier about Henry Cavill?
Yeah.
What's it called? I guess I'll just mention it now. Is that okay? So Henry Cavill, when apparently they're gonna, because in the books, Roach was just the steed that he had.
Yeah.
And of course, like they don't live as long as Witcher, so he just had a lot
bunch
of
of
roaches,
horses,
and he
yeah.
bonded with each one of them. But they said they had to kill off Roach eventually because he survived all of season 1 through all those years. It just didn't make sense. and so eventually he had to die, right? And he'll call the new one Roach too, but not yeah, he does. That's how it is in the books and the games.
Okay.
But in this one he said that Roach is such an important character. And he also he in real life Henry Cavill like rode with the horse like 6 hours a day, so he bonded with him.
Nice. He's a new Viggo Mortensen.
So he said that like, look, we can't play this off as a joke, because originally it was like, oh, I guess another horse another time. That was something like that.
Oh.
And then he said, no, we can't do that. It's like Roach is such an important character just for me and the fans. So they were like, you know what? Lauren was like, who had this, who had the good intuition to be like, you know what? You know the material. You're a huge fan, and I trust your instincts. Why don't you think about it for like a couple hours or so and then come back with like the dialogue? I'll let you come up with the dialogue. So that entire
Oh.
thing, he was just like using his encyclopedic knowledge of The Witcher. And he's like, okay, so there's this little passage in the beginning of the Blood of Elves, and he just used that where he talked about.
That's great.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
awesome.
That's how you do it. I mean, and that shows the benefits of working with people on these adaptations who really have a deep connection with the source material,
Yeah.
because they're more likely to really want to make the show strong and to really bring out the high points of the source material.
Yeah, and that was probably the point when I was the most emotionally impacted.
Yes.
Because like, okay, now can we get into Eskel? Because like,
Oh yeah. So
I did not realize that he was such a big deal.
Oh yeah, because we called each other. I called you after you found out that Eskel died.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, for me it was like such culture shock, because when you played the Witcher 3 game, you'll be like, what the fuck? Because Eskel is such a big character in the video games, and also not necessarily in the books, but he's Geralt's like, he's one of the main trio of like him, Lambert, and Geralt and Vesemir. They're the main Witchers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's in all the books.
Yeah, because like when he shows up and he's kind of an ass, and then he like becomes a tree thing and then dies. I was like, oh, that sucks. Like, I was like, that's all right, like whatever. And then that was it, and just moved on. And I was like, I understand the impact of like, oh, Witchers are very rare now at this point. They're pretty much a dying breed. So him dying, any of them dying, is a big deal. So I was like, okay, so there's that inherent like emotional connection to it, where it's like you don't want them to die, but that was it. Like, and I didn't realize till afterwards. So you were telling me, Philip, like, no, he's like this big fucking deal, and I was like, oh, like I would have never known.
So,
like, really,
they could still bring him back.
They possibly
because
could.
you know,
it's a fantasy show.
Like the whole
Yeah.
thing is like he was consumed by this monster, and they killed the monster, but that monster was also kind of from the Wild Hunt dimension or whatever.
Mhm.
So he might be trapped over on that side, and then he comes back at some point.
I will
we
say,
don't know exactly the mechanics of what happened to him.
I'll say he looked pretty dead, but
Yeah.
I mean, which like
Because
I
they
mean, I
buried
guess
his
they
physical
they
body.
could figure something out. Again, like I said, it is fantasy shit, so you never know. They could do something.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it, I guess, because you know, he apparently does have a big thing.
And he's
or
supposed to
they
be
could
very
just
charismatic and like funny and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think they could also just at this point, like, don't backtrack. Just move those,
forward.
move forward with somebody else. Do like make Lambert or somebody else, like you know,
Exactly.
expand on their characters, and you know, maybe give some of his shit to him or something. Like,
And
you
I
know.
like Lambert. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was cool. I liked his character. I liked how he's like.
The-
He's kind
the
of an
Tormund
ass.
Witcher.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's the Witcher who's just like, oh, what, you want to be a Witcher? Okay, I'll show you be a fucking Witcher. But then she starts actually proving himself, and then he's like, okay. He's like,
Yeah.
all right, and he wins her over. Like it shows, like, yeah, they are kind of dicks.
Yeah.
She
but
wins
it's
him over.
it's understandable. Yeah, but like she wins his respect and everything,
Yeah.
and he's like, okay, cool.
And let
Yeah.
and let's get to the motherlode of all Witchers, Vesemir. That's why I wanted what's it called? Wanted to see, you guys to watch Nightmare Wolf, because they give like his entire backstory in that. And that's
Okay.
actually not from the book. I mean, like that's completely original material that they filled in the blanks from Sapkowski's work. But in Nightmare of the Wolf, you know what's it called? Basically, they showed like the process of like what type of boys they get for the Witcher program. They showed the Trial of Grasses, which is brutal. Trial of the
Okay.
Grass is what they do to.
That's like the ultimate Witcher thing, right? That's
Yeah,
like
how they
where
beco-
he
like-
become like the white-haired Witchers and stuff.
yeah, and
right?
then how they choose which one survives. Like literally, it's just like whoever survives. They literally in the movie, they just dropped the boys, like they drugged them and put them in like a swamp full of monsters to see who survives.
That's
yeah.
brutal, man.
And then
I would love to see that.
yeah,
That'd be
that's
cool.
what- and then what's it called? That's what you said. You watched 5 minutes and turned it off. I was like, oh damn, you missed the good part. And then I was like, it shows the potions they make. It shows like Kaer Morhen before the School of the Wolf, before they're all wiped out. And actually, it shows up. It shows brilliantly like the reason why like there was attack and fall of Kaer Morhen and what led to that. And they
Okay.
show Vesemir was talking to Ciri, and they saw like he mentioned his mentor, like his version of
Oh,
Vesemir.
yeah.
Yeah, you see him and you see his side, and he's very complex, kind of tragic character. And what he did was ultimately what he thought was good for the Witcher, but also led to the downfall of the Witchers.
Oh, okay.
And you see Vesemir's like love story and back. It's really cool, and you see the fall, which is an insane thing, and you see the tragedy that comes, and you see young Geralt. You see
I didn't realize that.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I didn't realize that like that's what it covered. I probably should have watched it.
What's this one- what's
Maybe
this one
I'll go
called
back
again?
and watch
The
it.
Nightmare of the Wolf. I recommend it highly.
It's
really good.
animated.
Yeah, and it's
yeah.
Dope.
It's by Studio Mir, who did Legend of Korra and stuff like that. It's a really good animation studio.
I guess that
Hmm.
because that came in between
yeah, it was
the-
supposed to
the
be.
first two seasons. So
I don't think it would happen, but I would love to see like an animated version, like straight adaptation of the books, kind of like
Oh, that would be
like in
great.
the style of like Castlevania or something.
Yeah.
Where like I think Netflix is actually really fucking good when it comes to the animation
Yes.
stuff usually. So like yeah, I would love to see them take a crack at that. Like that'd be dope. Like I've always been saying that for years. Same thing for like Game of Thrones. Like just adapt the Song of Ice and Fire books straight up animated. Do like don't hold back, and so we
Yes.
can see the full grand majesty of
Mm-hmm.
like stuff you just can't do in live action, which is like some of the issues I see with like again we were talking about season 1. There's budgetary restrictions. You can't
Yeah.
build these crazy huge sets, and like you can't have monster fights all the time because they're really fucking hard.
Yeah.
So like I don't know.
You'll kill your
Well,
actors. the first costume.
Yeah.
strangely enough, the animation style I would have liked to see this in is actually a lot like for the Wheel of Time Origins that they did. Like they had like little
Oh, yeah.
origin shorts.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I think that style
That
would
could have
look
been good.
I've
really
not seen
good.
those, but
Yeah.
Okay.
When you watch through Wheel of Time, watch through those afterwards. They're really good looking.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So about the Back to Vesemir thing. So yeah, that shows like all of that,
Mhm.
and they really flesh out his character. So at least for me, I don't know how you guys were. Again, I'm curious, and also I played the game, so there's like that emotional investment. So seeing him and seeing what he went through and the tragedy he went through from that video game into here, and when he went to that scene was very impactful for me. And also like he was a really good mentor, and he's a fan favorite. What do you guys think of that character?
He's cool.
He's a very strong character. I think that he functions incredibly well as kind of this father figure to all of the Witchers, and then also to Ciri. And he kind of has that grandfather role for Ciri more so than a father role, which
Yeah.
works really well because she's supposed to be Geralt's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like actual blood daughter, but
Yeah.
his daughter of surprise or whatever. And I think that it's just good. You can definitely see that he cares a lot about these boys, and I guess men now.
Yeah.
And has worked really hard to kind of try to keep them alive. And when you see them all start dying, his emotions, they make sense.
Yeah.
And emotionally, he's a good character.
I agree.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I did like him in the show a lot. Like he said, like having that the paternal role over the other ones, and you see why he's so scared to like even like to have any kind of threat to his boys. So I think he was great. He fulfilled his purpose.
Yeah.
In the show. I think sounds like there's tons of potential for him, and I would like to see them, kind of cash in on that more and show more of like, why he's like this legend. Because I didn't exactly get that from here. Like I would have wanted him to maybe show more of his like just
Like his
knowledge and his
ability.
experience and everything, because he is like, by far the most knowledgeable and experienced of all these guys. So he did give some advice to like Ciri and was it like him and Triss, like their conversations, and Geralt was cool. So like I would like to see him expand on that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think and also like they kind of they did not downplay it, but they didn't show it as much. But probably in season 3, because he's the one. The way it works is after Trial of Grasses, they choose who makes it survives. Like
Yeah.
fucking, it's terrible. And then they inject the Witcher, and like in the movie, you see like like kids like bleeding from their eyes or like choking up and like their eyes pop. It's crazy. It's
Yeesh.
wild shit. In a weird way, it might have been a blessing to stop the program.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
that's like I like that too. It's like there is definitely that double-edged sword where it's like creating new Witchers. It's like, yeah, sure, they're like these kids that are like, recruited and like brought into this program, but it sounds insanely brutal and like pretty inhumane
Yeah.
to do to these children. But at the same time, in this world, it seems kind of necessary because it's pretty dark and there's a lot of fucking monsters. So it's like you kind of have to go dark to stop the dark.
If you got that's the call. Yeah, I agree with it. It is a weird, complicated
Well,
world.
and you get an understanding of just how brutal it is from the fact that he's like, no, I don't want to let you do this, Ciri. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
you would
too, yeah,
regret
it's like-
this.
That's why.
There's like a 30% survival rate. He's like,
Yeah.
dude, like,
No, that was next time when we do season 3, I'll make sure we all sit down and watch it, and you'll definitely see, because I think they're gonna lean more into that Witcher mutagen potion that they created.
cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. What's it called? 'Cause, oh my God,
I want to
that's
see
brutal.
new Witchers.
Well,
wanna
didn't
see
they
their
use
training.
it towards the end of season 2? That one lady, didn't she like get hit?
Oh yeah,
with
she like
the-
drinks it. And she like her
Yeah.
face like fucking melts or something. Which sorry, that's
Yeah.
one of the issues I had too. I was like, wait, who's the fire dude? I was like, what exactly
Yeah,
is he
supposed
trying to do?
Yeah, because yeah. It's yeah. We'll get into that bit.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
that'll be revealed in season 3.
I'm
Let's just put it
sure
that way.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that they're laying the groundwork for the next season, but the problem is I felt like they didn't keep my interest. Like, the whole council, the mages, and like that one guy, the guy who what's his name? The actor Garam McTavish. He's like been in The Hobbit and he's been a bunch of shit. He's like a new character. Was it Sigismund? Oh my god! I'm sorry.
Wait.
I'm terrible.
Graham McTavish.
Graham
Yeah.
McTavish, yeah.
He's a mage for Redania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he seemed like a cool character. I didn't understand why he was talking to the owl. until later I saw someone was like, "Oh, that's another mage or something." I was like,
at the
Yeah.
end they revealed it.
yeah. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But like, but I don't know. Also, I don't know. This is completely random, but I always think it's funny that in movies, whenever there's like a bald character, at some point they have to show them shaving their own head. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I know, I love that.
That's like a thing, but like they
Yeah.
showed him shaving his own head.
Oh.
He seemed interesting, but I was like, he didn't really do anything.
Right. 'Cause he's all for the setup. Even Stragobor, which is like they're setting up for.
Yeah, it's like I wish he
later
could
on.
have just been of more consequence in this season, so that it didn't feel kind of pointless like in this season a little bit. I was like, he's there.
Well, no, I guess because like his machinations made it easy for us, the viewers, to believe that Redania was behind. But let's get into the elf storyline.
Okay,
Was
yeah.
behind the assassination for
Dead
Philavandrel and his wife's baby. By the way, his wife is just badass. By the way, she's like evil as fuck.
Yeah,
But she's like, but I'll say this, like very fucking powerful. Like in a weird way, I was like,
she
yeah.
killed like 40 babies.
I know.
Or I don't know how many, like I don't know what they're trying to scale it as,
Yeah.
but I was like, goddamn lady, like I get it. I mean, who wouldn't be horribly pissed and traumatized at the fact that your
Yeah.
baby gets killed?
I do like that they still have the same actor who played Philavandrel in season 1, the elf guy, and then he came back. And he's also in the animated movie, by the way, too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot of carry on from that. Philavandrel and Francesca. I think that's her name, right?
I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, it is Francesca.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then, we get into, honestly, I was gonna mention Frangilla, but I didn't really care about her that much. I actually no, I will mention her because it's part of the elf storyline. I did like. It's a very it's from the books too, but it's interesting and a cool take that for history where it's like the elves are the persecuted ones. They're not like the beautiful and ordained.
Yeah,
But they're like basically in a weird way like not to sound super reductive, but they're like the racially persecuted group.
Yeah.
In this series.
Mhm.
And compared to, and that's like a flip on the horror.
pointy ear.
Yeah.
Oh, dance for me. Like it's a little flip on the fantasy genre that I like, and you saw that from the beginning, and you see their stakes, and it's very easy to root for them, and it also gives Nilfgaard
Yeah.
some sympathy for providing safe haven.
So they start murdering babies.
Well-
Oh no, yeah, that's true. Like once they took in the elves, it's like okay, I
And they
kind of
improved
like this.
Frangilla as a character.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
all right, now I can see why Nilfgaard isn't just a straight up evil army, like black army that's like pouring over the lands. It's like, oh, they do have some. I can see why it's a little more sympathy, but they're also like the nefarious motives of like you get an elf army too or something.
Yeah.
But
But it's more complex than that. Yeah,
yes,
they're
yeah.
they're
I
presenting
like
themselves
that.
as a like help like save for the downtrodden, and also like when elves included. But also at the same time, it's for tier motives, like an elven army or stuff like that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it felt very one note in season 1.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the reveal at the end?
Veer. That actually happens in like the second to last book in the series. Yeah,
Yeah.
but then they
Yeah.
couldn't do that in the TV series because like in the books, like they just say Emir, but they're like, he looks like oddly familiar, right? That's the thing. They kind of tease it up,
Yeah,
and then but then you can't do that in the TV series because you can see the face.
yeah, you just can't not see his face for. No, I mean, I feel like I called it. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. Early on, I was like, they keep alluding to this
They're just like-
dude.
They're just like, how could they have known?
Yeah, they
How
keep
could
on
they
calling
know
him the
about
White
Siri?
Flame.
Yeah, and I kept
Yeah.
thinking, I was like, wait, what did happen to her dad? I was like, well, where did he go?
Her and him and the wife just like, I think they went on kind of like they went on an expedition or something and they died.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, apparently not.
Yeah, apparently not for him. And then and he plays a big part in the video games too.
His
Later on.
hedgehog powers activated.
Yeah, and he's a very complex, interesting character, Emperor Emir. Who
Does he like to go fast, or is
Yeah.
that?
Let's just wait for Sonic the Hedgehog too. He'll pop up there. He's a very complex character because like at the same time, he was a loving father that was corrupted by his grief for the loss of his wife.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, like he wants his daughter because he wants her by her side and he loves her and he wants to be. But at the same time, he's strategic in the sense that he knows by having somebody of elder blood, because he knows that power because his fucking wife was one of elder blood and she screamed like ah and destroyed all the ballroom of Calanthes ballroom. So he's interesting in the sense that he's a loving father at the same time, but also a cold, ruthless emperor. but also at the same time understanding the political game so well. Because at the end we see the reveal that he ordered the death of the baby, which is holy shit. It's like
yikes.
Like he is Littlefinger, but who could fight and who's an emperor and also has
Had
a
quills at
elder
some
daughter.
point.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh yeah, fuck you guys for trying to take credit for something I did."
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know. I thought that was pretty funny. I was
Yeah.
honestly giggling because he's like, oh yeah, we we killed the baby for you, you know, and then he's like, mm-hmm. He's like,
Yeah,
fucking
okay.
liars. I killed the baby.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I've never seen people try to fight so hard to take credit for killing a baby before.
And then what's it called? He's like, it's the best way to get to my daughter. And then I did like that, and I like that. Like he's it's and in a weird way I think it's improve like I don't even see them as antagonists. I just feel this is like different political points. Because like Redania's they're shits too.
Yeah,
and Temeria's are shits. and like they're all the brotherhoods are shits.
I'm like literally the only
right now
people
you
I
don't
can-
know. Oh,
sorry, no, you go.
right now, if you haven't read the books and you haven't played the video games, you don't really know like what the actual plan that Nilfgaard has. And you don't know, are they the good guys? Are they the bad guys?
Exactly, and that's
Did
what
they
makes it
want
compelling.
Ciri to prevent the Wild Hunt from coming? Did they want Ciri to make it come? So they're very in flux still about what their intentions are.
Like I said, like in season 1, they were so one note, and especially like the character of Vigo Cahir, like the Black Knight guy.
Yeah.
He was super one note
Baron,
in
right?
season 1. He's just like hunting down Ciri, and like that's kind of it.
Where's Ciri?
Yeah, like he's kind of just like I'm just hunting her down. And this season, I really liked how first it starts off with him getting like just tortured to shit. Yeah, super broken down by shit. What's her name? Tisea. Yeah, who she was low key. Like I liked her more in this season, but like again, I feel like we didn't feel like they knew what to do with her. Because there's enough times where I was like, I want to see more of her, but not doing this. I don't know.
Well, she was
She's
kind of
like-
supposed to function kind of like Vesemir was for Geralt,
Yeah.
but for
Yennefer. But she
yeah.
transitioned into like the Lady Tyrell of the Brotherhood.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
how she is. Like she does become more cold and ruthless as time goes on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, back to Vigo.
It's Cahir.
Cahir.
Yeah.
I liked him in the season 2 because like he gets tortured by her, so you immediately kind of get a little bit more sympathy. You're kind of like, yeah, fuck you. And then to a certain point, like when he's like so broken down, it's like, oh, you kind of feel bad for him, you know?
Yeah.
So it was easier to like kind of root for him a little bit, at least to get away. And then like you kind of see his ruthlessness still as like he's like kind of like whatever, like fuck these elves, who gives a shit. But at the same time, he's what's it called? Like he's
a narcissist.
yeah, he's a narcissistic, but
pedophiles.
you kind of see why he's like no, the white flame's gonna make things better, and it's
Yeah.
like okay, he's a believer, he's a true believer,
and that's what like you see more of his character and his core values.
yeah,
Right? And it goes on, and also at the same time, they give him sympathy with the struggle that he's at his low point, and him
Yeah.
and by pairing him with a character that we were sympathized with, Yennefer.
yeah.
That was a good choice, and
Yeah,
I like their dynamic.
Yeah, I like that. I like that point of Yennefer's arc where they're just like, okay, well, to prove yourself, you gotta fucking kill this guy, and then she's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to just straight up murder this guy, kind of just cause, you know. So then, like, I like that. So again, he has a little arc, which is cool, and I'm interested to see where he goes because he was a character that I really didn't think I was gonna care at all about. But
Same thing with Frangilla. I liked her dynamic for Francesca, and they were like kind of partners and friends at first.
Mhm.
yeah,
And also at the end, I did like that she, like, you thought they were gonna be in this, just like how in the books and games, like how that she thought she was gonna redeem herself, be a more sympathetic figure, and then immediately at the end, she's like, "You're gonna take away my power and agency. Let me poison you all and slowly stab you."
Yeah.
Which is great.
that was
love it.
great. That
Yeah.
actually reminded me of American Horror Story season 3 with the part where the witches like get paralyzed and she like scoops out the dude's eyeball with a spoon.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
That's the thing.
I thought
But
you were gonna
no,
mention Logan. Remember that scene where Professor X?
oh yeah,
yeah, and then Logan just like stabs. You seen Logan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, and then Logan like slowly stabs everybody.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I love Cohere. Great acting by the actor. It was just like shit.
yeah. That was great.
What's it called?
Oh, can we get into magic systems at some point?
Yeah.
And just like the magic and how they animated it, how they brought it to life in this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think
I'll
it's
say
good.
for the most part.
For the most part, yeah. It's like in a weird way. I mean, there wasn't as much magic in this season as last one.
No,
It was a lot of portals, but that was,
Yeah.
it. I guess the last episode of the previous season, or second to last episode, the battle.
Battles on the Hill. Yeah.
that's probably where you saw the most magic.
Yeah.
You know, with like the mushroom sprouting and the doorway filling with
Yeah.
vines and stuff like that. Yeah, and I think that they really brought it out very well in season 1. I'm looking forward to seeing
In season 3.
what more there is to magic, especially now that Ciri and Yennefer are together, and Yennefer is going to start training Ciri in kind of the gray magic.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how she accesses chaos and all that stuff. And it's gonna be interesting, and also just like because you saw like just a little tip, because that's not even how powerful she could get. Like when Valdemir take her, she gets even 10 times more powerful than that.
Oh, cool.
Like, and then like by the way, the CGI work on the basilisks were fucking amazing.
Yeah, they looked really good. I was genuinely impressed.
But the only thing I'm worried, and okay, now I guess because and when we get into the final stars of the review, is that let's get to the fan bitching, and that kind of gets into the final battle. So first the fan bitching with Eskel. A lot of people were bitching to her, and and the creator fully acknowledged what she said. There's a emotional reason behind it, and I mean she might have assumed too many people have seen the Nightmare of the Wolf because Eskel and Geralt are both in there.
Yeah.
So you see them. Well, I don't say you see them train, but you see that they were together and they're bonding already. And then, and hence the emotional impact was there when Geralt had to kill.
Yeah.
But maybe, and she might rectify it by having like flashbacks in future seasons to add more stuff. That's always a way to do it.
I feel like just don't.
Yeah.
Like at this point, sorry, you kind of you missed it. Yeah, just move on. Like I don't know.
And then she said, good for her. She said she'll have a Q&A after New Year's, and then hear all fan feedback. And then they already wrote the script for season 3, but they said they could be adjusted.
Awesome.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, you
good
love
attitude.
to hear that. Like again, I don't want them to be too reactionary either.
No,
you know?
exactly.
You don't want to be like DC where they're just like they're just like panicking or shit, or like Star
but there's
Wars.
Enough,
but
you know what I mean?
yeah, enough there where you can really listen and then also like take into account what you're trying to say. Like yeah, that's cool.
And there's another bitching. You know how you mentioned the in season 3 there's gonna be Yennefer, Ciri, and Geralt. People were bitching like, oh my gosh, Yennefer was about to give her to Valdemir. And you ruined the dynamic. You fucking terrible fucking piece of shit showrunner. You fucking destroyed The Witcher and my love for The Witcher and my wife with Witcher pictures, and Geralt is the best, and oh my gosh.
No, that's how you develop a complex character. Yeah, I mean, you see Yennefer constantly struggling. Like, she wants to have a family, but she also wants to be powerful. And what is she going to trade for that? And at the end, you see that, hey, she starts to see Geralt and Ciri as being her family. So she decides, I'm not going to trade them for power.
Yeah.
And so it works well. And like she even says, I didn't understand what she was to you when I came on this mission to begin with.
I will say that turn that she has, that moment where she was like, oh fuck, like I shouldn't have done this. Like I feel like they could have done that a little bit differently. Like have her have that realization, like come from something else. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to think of something.
No, I know what
Well,
you
I don't
mean.
know,
It was a little bit
it was a little bit rushed, 'cause
yeah.
I think like they should have just had maybe one more scene of her training Ciri with magic. 'Cause
Yeah.
the whole point is that Tissaia wasn't crazy about Yennefer, but then once training her, like she developed feelings and a bond with Yennefer.
Yeah.
And they were trying to go that for Yennefer with Ciri. And I feel like it'll be improved with next season.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
like that there's a lot of room for growth, which is like great. But yeah, I didn't really mind that she was just gonna be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna give this girl away because
Yeah.
like I don't give a shit, and it kind of feels more in line with her character, at least how she's been portrayed in the show a bit,
Yeah.
where she's always kind of
Very selfish.
yeah, she's pretty selfish. Yeah, she always just wants her own shit, like and she just is willing to like maybe give up this girl which she doesn't know. It is a little fucked up, but again, like
That's what she'll do. That's what the world is.
Yeah.
Everyone acts on their self-interest.
yeah, and it's because it's like, yeah, imagine being like one of the most powerful beings in the entire world to then being reduced back to kind of nothing.
Yeah.
It's like what people would do to have that power back. Like once you've had a taste for it, it's like it can go some dark places. So
Yeah.
like
And what to replace it with love.
Well,
Like what she
yeah,
wanted.
the
She
power
wanted a
of
kid.
love is very important, and I think that that's kind of also what brought her powers back
Yeah.
a little bit. Is when she decided, okay, I'm going to sacrifice myself potentially
Yeah.
in order to basically
Ciri.
save Ciri. That was the power of love that was able to bring her magic back, because they really talk about how powerful love is, you know, at breaking curses. And technically what she did to herself was she cursed herself by using fire magic in order to lock away her magical powers, and then she broke that curse through love.
Can we talk about episode 1?
Oh then we get to what's called played by Torment Giantsbane, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, my favorite episode.
So good.
It was so good. And that's a short story from The Last Witch, which I'm glad they put into here, and because that's a tragic complex storyline where you had Gerald's old friend. Who he made a lot of mistakes in the past, but he's trying to redeem himself. But at the same time, he gets back to his old vices of just feeling that need void of loneliness.
Yeah,
literally adopting
a monster.
I never read that short story. But I haven't read any of the Witcher stuff yet.
It's a pretty good adaptation of that story.
So I at first when I saw that episode, I was like, oh, they're just doing a dumb Beauty and the Beast thing. Right? Because he kind of had magic. It felt like the house was a little bit alive and things like that.
Yeah.
And I was
he
like,
looks beastish.
Yeah, he looks beastish. And then when they flipped it on its head, I was like, oh, this is actually good. I like what they did here.
Yeah.
Just if they hadn't have flipped it on its head the way that they did, I don't think it would have worked for me, but it really just worked.
It definitely hooked me back into season 2 because again, I was still on shaky ground for season 1, and I was like, all right, let's see where this goes. And then it's the first episode immediately. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I want to see more of this.
And the CGI work, by the way, it's great because he was actually in the costume and the makeup, but they use CGI on the eye and the lip movement to make it seem more natural and motion capture that thing.
That's awesome.
So so they had the actual practical outfit, and they put dots on top of the practical outfit so they could animate it better and make it feel more like a thing. And that's how you should do it. Yeah. That's how you should do it.
But I love that it's there's no clear lines really throughout the thing where it's he's kind of a monster, right? But it's who's the real monster kind of thing. Where it's he's a monster, but not because, and he even addresses it himself where he's listen, he's I know I look like a monster and everything, but really what makes you a monster is what your actions, what you've done, and who you are on the inside. And he's and that's where I'm fucked. That's what's really matters, and that's why I feel I kind of deserve this shit, He
has just penance for that.
Yeah, because he committed a horrible crime, and he
continues.
Yeah, and he doesn't know how to live with himself, and he, like you said, he tried killing himself, but it's he can't die. And then him kind of adopting the other monster who was also trying to also commit trying to also be better. She was living with him. She's I'm not trying to
kill the villagers.
Kill the villagers, but she still is.
She just has that natural hunger and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's and that whole relationship between them, and even her speaking to Siri and just being oh, I'm just because I'm different or whatever, and it's yeah, well, I mean, also you're killing people, so it's hard not to agree with Geralt here, who had he kind of just cuts through.
Yeah, he cuts the Bruxa, which is this version of vampire.
Yeah, he kind of just cuts through all the bullshit, really. He's just you need to die because you're a vampire monster thing, so dead. And he's you need to fucking stay cursed and you can kill yourself because you're also fucked up and you're a monster.
Because it's revealed that the reason why he's cursed is, besides destroying the temple, he raped the priestess.
That's a pretty harsh crime right there.
Yeah, so I mean, ultimately very deserving, and also because the fact that he let the fucking Bruxa murder the village.
Yeah.
I thought that the whole thing was he didn't kill intelligent monsters.
Yeah, that's the thing too, right? Well,
it's not even that. It's just because she loved Nivellen regardless of his appearance.
Yeah,
that she didn't make him feel like an outsider.
Yeah. And it's part of that's very sweet, and that's very cool. But also it's, again, still tragic, and it's very complex, and I like that a lot. And that's one thing I was really hoping for more of this season.
They said luckily, because there's a lot of short stories. They said they're gonna include more short stories throughout.
Cool.
Yeah, throughout the series.
That's good, because I think that brings kind of the Ron was saying earlier about side quests.
Yeah,
where it felt it's a little side quest, and
it makes sense for The Witcher.
Yeah, and if you're doing an episodic TV show, that's something that you can do without detracting from the overall story, and it actually adds to the overall story.
Yeah, it's I know you don't like Mandalorian or haven't cared for it, but I'll say that's one of the things I love about that show is that they have Mando going out and he does all these little side quest mission things, and
Yeah.
each one is unique and different. Most of it is literally just kind of like, I need your help killing this thing, but that's perfect for The Witcher.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like have
That's
him
his job.
yeah, more monster hunting, have him more unique and weird creatures and stuff, which I like the variety of creatures they showed. Like there's the vampire thing, there's the hog face guy, there's the what is it, like those they say basilisk things
Yeah,
at the
the
very
basilisk,
end.
yeah.
There's a tree monster, that weird centipede thing. A pretty large variety of like monsters and creatures, which I loved. That was awesome.
And apparently this show is like just within the first like couple days or something, or 3 days, like 124 million hours have been viewed of the show.
Damn.
And it's 69 or 70 million of the previous show in this weekend.
Damn.
So like the popularity has increased, and also Wheel of Time, which is also apparently it was the number 1 show, but now it's number 2. So it's like,
What's number 1?
yeah, The Witcher.
Oh,
I mean,
oh, well, nice.
the Wheel of Time, the way that it was released, the release structure wasn't really conducive to binging because
Oh no, it was,
yeah.
but it was good that the way, because it builds hype.
yeah,
Conversation longer, but so I'm glad. So I'm hoping that this increase in popularity will increase the budget for season 3. So yeah, back to the fan bitching. Just to end that with a little typo. You guys, you understand? I understand. I'm also very upset about them killing Eskel and stuff like that.
You're the biggest fan bitch I know.
Yeah.
just in general.
Yeah. I got something. No, I'm not gonna say something. All right, but fuck. I almost said it. This would have been hard to edit. But this, like I said, I think season 3, people be patient. They're working. It's hard to make a TV series, and it's adapting a novel into an 8-episode television season. And if you look, Blood of Elves doesn't have that much, so they had to actually incorporate stuff from the 3rd novel too, or technically 2nd novel. So I said, be patient, trust them. There's a lot of love. There's probably one. Honestly, there's only one shot that I really was like not a fan of, is like when the teeth. Remember when he was fighting in the neutral temple, and when the fire mage came, and then he brought his goons.
Yeah.
And then there was a slow-mo shot of Geralt punching a guy's teeth out.
Yeah.
And the teeth was like, for some reason, like a 3D CGI teeth. It was like, and I was like, okay, that's it. That's like a one weird nitpick. I'm like,
Yeah,
why?
I was like,
that felt so weird compared to the dark grit nature. I felt something out of like a Kingsman film, like a Matthew Vaughn film.
Yeah.
But other than that, I love the season overall. It satisfies me as a fan. There was a lot of changes, liberty, but I understand it's called an adaptation. It's not a 1-to-1 translation. Read the fucking books, you lazy fucks. What's it called? So, like I said, this is a different thing. I'm fine with it. Do you guys want to get the final ratings, or is there anything more?
I'm cool with going.
I want to talk about just the set design real quick.
Okay,
Yeah, because there were some very good sets, especially in season 2. And earlier we talked about in season 1 how they reused quite a few sets.
Yeah.
In different places, and that didn't really work with me too much. But I think that there were very unique sets in this episode, and it really felt like it was more kind of you could tell where everything was,
especially the Witcher base. I
think they did a great
cool.
job with that. The little training set that they had outside, and then just the castle with all of its dungeons.
Yes.
Just beautiful looking, and it really felt like it fit in with the medieval fantasy type aesthetic.
Even the Witch's base, Aretusa, I thought got an upgrade in this season.
Aretusa definitely got an upgrade. Just like looking at the pond, the slug pond, I guess, when Yennefer takes the young mages there, and do you see this? This is where you're gonna end up, because you 3 are bitches. Like you ain't got shit.
Or the eels, no?
Yeah. Sorry, eels.
Yeah,
but no, just in general, I really love the set design for season 2. I think they did a great job at building out and creating just very unique sets that all felt very consistent with the world, which is a tough thing to do, to both be consistent with the world and keep it unique.
Yeah, and that's why it's crazy that I've been hearing arguments that this is like way worse than season 1. But you guys are blind. You have to be blind to not see it. It's like, and you even see it in the critical reviews. I think the first season has 67% on critical rating and like 97-95% on audience rating. But season 2 is the opposite. It got a huge boost in critical. Like it got critical acclaim 95%. One of the highest rated shows on television right now, and the audience rating jumped all the way down from 97 to 73.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I will say season 2 does feel a little bit slower because they're developing just the one storyline. Season 1, it feels a lot more fast paced because they're packing in stuff from 3 different storylines, really, and it never really seemed to get stale. And it always kept you thinking just because you had to in order to understand what the fuck was going on. But that's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, I can
You
see
know.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah, let's get final
Yep,
ratings. Okay.
final ratings.
All
Yep.
right.
Do you want to
and-
do season 1 ratings first?
Yeah, season 1 rating. You want
Yeah.
to go for? We'll just go season 1, season 2.
I would say season 1, I would put that into the bargain bin.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
That's fine. That's fine. Understandable.
I mean, it was watchable, but it's not something that I'm necessarily gonna. I didn't really enjoy it a lot. I basically just watched it to get to season 2. It feels like at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I think season 1 was like streaming with ads. Like it was fine. It was like mostly serviceable. There was like a few standout moments. Henry Cavill,
Yes.
again throughout.
His
And
brawny
Yennefer's story,
charisma.
I liked hers, but there was just one big glaring arc that I just not give a shit about in that series.
Here, yeah.
So I was like, that really weighed it down for me. And then of course the whole convoluted timeline thing, which was just like, it was too much for me. I was just like, man, I wish there was just a way more efficient way of telling this story. But
Yeah.
So first one is that. Yeah, you want to go?
It's like Dunkirk, but stretched to an entire TV series.
Yeah, right. It's like,
Yeah.
And the difference in Dunkirk is
It
that they're
made
very
sense.
clear. They're like, this takes place over a day. This is over an hour, and this is
and
like 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, no,
Yeah.
this is like, I don't fucking know. Like this
Yeah.
decade is 100 years.
Wait, what was your season
like,
2 rating again?
oh, sorry. Wait, Miles, did you say your season 2?
Oh, I didn't say my season 2.
Oh, just to make season 1, season 2.
Oh yeah, my season 2 rating is premium streaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
You?
For season 2, I'm gonna say premium streaming too, but like a very like tentative one because it's like I want it to expand. I'm very open to this to the season 3 and it
Same.
improving and stuff. So like it may grow on season 3, like kind of like how season 1 did. I think for me and Miles too. Like it's just like it got better in retrospect, and I hope that that's what happens with this season. But I did like a lot of it overall. It improved pretty much across the board. So. Yeah, I'm still excited to see what comes next.
Same, just to echo the part, not to be repetitive. So yeah, the same pretty much. Season 1 for me is streaming with ads, and season 2 is. Oh my! My fanboy wants to put it on the shelf, but I gotta be like pretty cold about this. But premium streaming, it's premium streaming.
Ads you can skip? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm hoping they improve, and I think they are. Like I'm a big fan of Lauren. I think she's very receptive. I like her approach to the material. I can tell she's a big fan. Henry Cavill. The fact that she listened to Henry Cavill about Roach, like what to say, because he was like, "No, we're not gonna make it a joke. It's gonna be an emotional moment." Great. She's like, if anything, let Henry Cavill. I mean, I don't know if he has time, but let Henry Cavill maybe in the writing room, not like necessarily to write scripts, but to give his input. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even as like a producer role or something, or just have like just more of a voice because I think he's the kind of person you want there.
Oh,
to
yeah,
be
he's
steering the ship.
Dude, his memory is like insanely sharp. Like, have you guys seen interviews where like they do trivia questions and like he's always the first one?
Yeah,
He's like,
and it's so broad, like all fantasy. Like the
Yeah.
dude knows everything. He
like
knows
Warhammer,
Tolkien. Yeah, he knows all of it. He's like, I saw one where there's like, all right, name fantasy shit that people should read. He's like, oh, all these books from this guy, all these books from this dude, all these books
Yeah,
from
he's
this
a-
guy.
yeah.
It
He's
feels like they should have Henry Cavill as like an EP on like all these shows.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Exactly.
Can you imagine? I don't know if he's a big fan of. I'm probably A Wheel of Time and Robert Jordan's novels. Can you imagine that he's like, well, this. Honestly, I would love to see him on the show. actually.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you guys for another episode. We might do a Wheel of Time episode, might not. Probably, yeah, because I've spent way too much time.
I would
Yeah.
like to do it. So yeah. Okay.
See us
thanks,
for our
guys.
next episodes. Thank you for this amazing fantasy. You guys want to give a last shout out to our fans?
Yeah, let us know what you guys think of The Witcher. Are you a fan of the books and the games? Like, are you just a neutral person coming in like me? Let us know what you thought. Like, did you think it was a faithful adaptation? Did you hate it? Do you not care? And did you just enjoy the show by itself or hate it? Let us know, please. in the
Yeah. And
comments.
what are you looking forward to season 3, or are you just kind of on
yeah,
it?
are you done at this point, or are you like hooked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody,
Guys.
have a great day, and
don't forget to toss a coin to your podcasters.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.